Everyone, my name is Rich, and I am a part owner of the Green Bay Packers. Actually, the share I own is way smaller than this mini helmet. Nevertheless, alright, so anyway, in this video, I really wanted to showcase PC game Pro Strategy Football 2022. And I figured, what better way to do that than to simulate one of my all-time favorite dream matchups, the 1999 St. Louis Rams greatest show on turf versus the 2000 Baltimore Ravens, and arguably one of the greatest defenses to ever take the field in the game. And you can believe me when I say this, there will be absolutely no bias. None at all. I can promise you 100%. Alright, so before I start rambling, I want to get some gameplay going so you can watch the Pro Strategy Football Simulation live in action. What I just did here and what you can do before every game. Because not only is this a strategy game, not only is this a coaching and managing game, it is a simulation game. So, for each game, you can run 100 or 1,000 simulations to see how any particular game may go. So in this case, St. Louis actually won slightly over 75% of the time. They are thus favored by 5 points, and the over-under is 41. Let's take a look, shall we, and see which game we get. I am going to go out and say the Rams will win 20-10. Let's do this. So we're going to watch it live, CPU versus CPU. There it is, Baltimore Ravens, St. Louis Rams, and we're in the Georgia Dome, site of Super Bowl 34, where the Rams played the Titans in the 1999 season, year 2000, technically. And we are blessed with commentary by Pat Summerall and John Madden in this. I'll discuss this matchup in the game. Let's watch the opening kickoff and first play. Ravens are going to get the ball here. Interestingly, not Jermaine Lewis running the ball back. But nevertheless, not a bad gain there by Corey Harris. And here we go. We're going to watch the first play here. Got a man in motion. Look at that. Nice handoff, but the Rams defense sniffs it out. So there are two matchups that I'm interested in, very interested in, but they're both when the Rams have the ball. And we'll talk about that once the Rams get the ball. But the reason we're here in the Georgia Dome, site of Super Bowl 34, as opposed to Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, site of Super Bowl 35, is kind of twofold. Number one, I just figured you want to get your offense at the best. Let's really see how good this Ravens 2000 defense is. Because everybody has their own idea of who might be the greatest defense to ever play in the NFL. Once in a while, you'll hear the 2013 Seahawks. Don't get me wrong, great defense, but the fact that they were, out of all the Super Bowls, they get the Super Bowl outdoors in New York in cold weather, 40-degree weather, against Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning never played good in cold weather. That was an absolute gift. So I figured I want to see the 2000 Ravens defense go against the greatest show on turf, while they're actually playing on turf. So that's why I picked site of Super Bowl 34, the Georgia Dome, where the Titans played the Rams, as opposed to the Super Bowl after where the Ravens played the Giants. And as I was talking, you can see the Ravens, they're actually having a pretty impressive starting opening drive here. 2nd and 11. So Ian Badejo, interestingly, the great special teams player, getting a rare carry there. That's a bit interesting. Oh, Shannon Sharp, nice catch. Move those sticks, as Pat Summerall says. We're in a goal situation here. Ravens looking to drive it in. Jamal Lewis, look at that. Ravens off the bat. 14 plays, 71 yards, 8 minutes. Wow, that was an incredible opening drive by the Ravens. Let's see what the Rams have. And I'll discuss my 2 matchups I'm looking forward to. So going back to where I chose the location, like I said, I want to see the Ravens defense against the best conditions the Rams can play in, which is in a dome. And so when I was running this game through my head of who I would think would actually win, I kind of came to the conclusion that if it was played in a dome, I would come to the conclusion, just like the simulation did, that the Rams would probably win. I was thinking closer to 90% of the time, but as we saw, at least in this simulation by Pro Strategy Football, the Rams would win 75%. So that doesn't mean the game you would get would do that. As you can see, the Ravens started with a good lead here. So they're blessed with John Madden commentary, calling people out already on dumb penalties. Oh, there we go. Another penalty. So we got some penalties going here. Continuing the Rams drive. Another flag. Look at that. 3 in a row. So the Ravens got to get their act together here. The Rams taking advantage of that. Kurt Warner going deep here. So getting into the specifics of this actual game, as far as the matchups that I said I'm interested in, I want to see Marshall Faulk, how he does against this defense in the passing game. Because in the 1999 season, not only did Marshall Faulk run for over 1,300 yards, he caught over 1,000 yards as a running back. Unheard of. Absolutely incredible season. So we know the Ravens 2000 defense. They gave up the least amount of points total in a 16-game season. Incredible run defense, but as you can see, Marshall Faulk breaks one. 28-yard touchdown run. That's the stuff that you didn't really see the 2000 Ravens give up. So I was more interested to see how Marshall Faulk can do in this game in the pass offense, catching against them, because I don't recall the Ravens 2000 defense going up against many running backs who could catch out of the backfield. Honestly, that wasn't really that common at the time. All right, so we're all tied up here in the first quarter. Very fun Super Bowl game so far going on here. Minus like the 4 penalties we had in a row. Otherwise, it's going quick, smooth. Teams are scoring. If you were at a Super Bowl party watching this, you'd probably be pretty happy right now. We'll see if it can keep up. So Ravens are driving. Marshall Faulk already ran on the Ravens. Trent Dilfer had him in, missed him. And we're closing in on the end of the first quarter. So third down here, big third down. 3rd and 10. You don't expect the Ravens to convert these type of plays, but we'll see. Did he have enough? Wow, tackle by Mike Jones, the hero of the actual Super Bowl 34. So the second matchup I'm looking forward to involves the Rams offense and Ravens defense, and I'll discuss that once the ball flips. All right, so the Ravens ran the clock out. Let's take a look at the first quarter stats here, why don't we? Big thing that sticks out to me here, 3rd down converted, the Ravens 5 of 5. That is how you win ball games. But plenty of game to be played here. I would have to say the other thing that definitely sticks out to me, Trent Dilfer having a good game, 10 of 13 so far. Not much going on with pressure from the defense, not much sacks. Ravens absolutely destroyed time of possession. Almost the whole first quarter they had. And the Rams with 44 rush yards. The Ravens, that magic number is 100. They didn't give up many at all 100-yard rush games. So let's see how this turns out. Let's get back into it. But so far, this has been a good, smooth game. We got a 4th down here, though, so we're going to get a punt. Look at that. Oh, never mind. Hit back for a touchback. So that makes me think of how these plays are designed. Essentially, before the start of a play, the result's already determined. But it just shows you ways that they could play out. So as you can see, Kurt Warner avoided a sack on that play. But no matter what, it was going to be a pass complete for 9 yards. It didn't have to quite look like that. That's the beauty of being able to watch the game. The results are going to play out different ways. All right, so we got our first injury, I believe, of the game there. And the Rams are already punting, so nice work by the Ravens defense to hold up there. Dwayne Starks, interestingly, I was going to discuss him. He's actually the second big matchup that I'm looking at in this game. It's going to be Dwayne Starks against the receiver he's covering. Because the Ravens, at this point, their big corner was Chris McCaster. Even though he was young, I would say he was definitely one of the standout corners, starting to give himself a name at this point. So I'm curious to see Dwayne Starks. I believe he's going to be covering Isaac Bruce. So quick 3 and out there. Rams defense forces the Ravens. So after a very flashy, quick, efficient first quarter, we've already had our 3rd punt here in the 2nd quarter.
Second down. The pass is not complete. 3rd down.
All right, so the offense is stalling out here a bit. And there we go. There's the matchup I'm talking about. But we got a flag. Oh, interesting. Wow. Wow, what a call. You don't see that in, regular football games. You see real calls here in these games. So you had a lot going on. A lot going on. Just like you would get in a real game. You had an injury. You had a flag. You had a big 3rd down conversion. You had all that at once. You can really get into these games. It's very interesting. And that's why if you check around on YouTube, you will see people running humongous tournaments. Absolutely. Not just one single dream match off like I'm doing this one-off. Ravens-Rams. You'll see tournaments from teams from all different types of decades. It's very interesting what you can do, what you can watch in these games. And they'll have rules for each decade laid out. And incredible work has to be given to the modders of this community. Because this game doesn't come like this. I did mention that in the beginning. The base game is just your standard, just city names, no logos. The modding community for this game is absolutely incredible. How the amount of time and effort they put into every single season. You can literally play the 1999 season with all the players, all the teams of that year, the exact schedule. And you can do it again for 2000, 2001. You can go all the way back to the 50s and do it. It's really incredible, the work that they put in. And a kudos goes to the developer for allowing that, and not only that, encouraging it. When you start the game up, one of the opening menus is that you can load mods. So it's pretty much led to this great modding community. As John Madden pipes in again about the dumb penalties. And not only that, you can make your own custom teams. You can, like I said, do tournaments. You can do single seasons. You can do pro or college. And you can do career mode, which is what I'm most interested in. And there you go. Big play by the Rams. They're getting in. They're driving.
Move those sticks.
Kurt Warner, who was played in 3 Super Bowls, and he was the leading Super Bowl passer in 3 games until Tom Brady came in, and a couple people broke his record since. But for a while there, the top passer, Super Bowl yards, is Kurt Warner.
He's in for 6.
So he throws a touchdown there and takes the lead. So my webcam blocked it, but a red box flashed up that said percentage of making the extra point was 99%. So it'll show you field goal percentages and extra point percentages. And so another great thing, just to step back slightly, going back to the extra point. As you can see, it was extra point at the 2-yard line. So it was the rules back in 1999 and 2000. As opposed if you tried to do this in any modern game, you'd have to abide by the rules of today's game where the extra point's push back. So speaking of that, it's one of the more intriguing things about this dream matchup. He's got a big pass there. Is how close we were to actually seeing this. As a matter of fact, the Rams and the Ravens in 1999 played each other. The first, quite literally, almost had this matchup because they played each other week 1 of the 1999 season. The Ravens' defense would have been better just 1 year prior. No offense to Titans fans who we got in the Super Bowl. But we could have seen this matchup that year. Or, the Rams offense. Look at that. We got some scoring going on in this game, but there's a penalty. Hold it.
That's a mental mistake, and it's a dumb penalty.
Too many men in the huddle. Ah.
Third down.
A touchdown wiped off. That is huge. For, real life penalties that you won't see very often in many other games. So this game is very neat how it simulates that stuff.
Second down. We have a marker down. Now that's a mental mistake, and it's a dumb penalty.
So we're seeing a lot of penalties here. Baltimore's just shooting themselves in the foot. As you can see, the field goal percentage there.
Second down.
They're slowly trying to chip away and get some yards back, but right now the Rams are in control.
The pass is not complete. Third down.
So 3rd and 16, you have Trent over at the quarterback, 2000 Ravens offense. They're 90% of the time not getting this. But as I say that,
For 6. Touchdown.
Patrick Johnson, look at that. And we got ourselves a tie game here.
The kick is up, and it's good.
But the Rams still have a minute left. See what they can do here. So in the real Super Bowl 34, when the Rams played the Titans, the Rams were dominating by halftime. And then, as we know, the Titans stormed back. They almost tied it. The Rams held them off. See if the kicker... Oh. So that's the kind of kick return you need for a situation like this. Got some motion going on. Very interesting to watch.
The pass is not complete. Second down.
Looked like Kurt Warner was hurried there a little, threw it away. So again, there's that matchup I've been alluding to. Isaac Bruce. Dwayne Starks against Bruce there on that inside.
Move those sticks. The pass is not complete. Second down. We have a marker down.
All right, we got a penalty, pass interference, maybe defensive holding. There you go. This just kind of feels like how a drive like this would transpire in a real game. Oh, we got Kurt Warner down. Oh no. Our dream matchup is being destroyed by the Ravens. Rough defense. Knocked out Rich Gannon. 2000 AFC Championship game. Trying to do the same here to Kurt Warner.
The pass is not complete. Fourth down.
So I'm not touching the game. I just figured I would just do a one-off. If Kurt Warner's out, that's just the way it's going to be.
The kick is up, and it's good.
But nevertheless, the Rams putting up 17 by half. So they're pretty much obliterating the score that I was guessing, 20-10, both teams. So we're going to get halftime here. We're going to check the stats. And overall, so far, great first half as far as someone watching. Absolutely entertaining game. Time of possession dominated by the Ravens. However, the Rams hold the lead. And we've got 7 penalties total between the teams. That sticks out. Trent Dilfer with 22 passes, but is 16 of 22. That really sticks out to me. Wow. You would think the rushing stats would be swapped. That would have been my guess. 10 of 50 for the Rams with that big 28-yard run by Falk. So this is like the Bizarro game right now where the Ravens have more total offense than the Rams. And yet the Rams are leading at halftime. So very interesting stuff. Let's get back to it. This is the game you want after you simulate and you see the stats. You don't want the standard 26 15 or whatever that score was they were giving us. So Rams in possession here. They got a big opportunity. They're going to try to run again with Falk.
Second down.
And Kurt Warner's back, so that's good at least.
Third down. Pass is not complete. Fourth down.
All right, so Ravens defense comes out strong. So one thing I wanted to point out is the players, they're all number 80, as you can see, for both teams on the jerseys. But all that stuff is completely moddable. You can just open up the image in Photoshop, and you can edit anything. You can give them all the same number. You can give them all individual numbers. You can mess around with all that stuff.
Third down.
You can edit the tackle sounds that they make, the grunts, all that stuff. It's very cool. Oh, nice little run there by Jamal. Oh, look at him go. Down the sideline. Jamal Lewis. Could he go? 20, 10, touchdown. Jamal Lewis.
He's in for 6. Touchdown.
Wow. Big play. I'm sorry. I'm showing some bias. I said I wouldn't do that. Sorry.
The kick is up, and it's good.
All right, so 21-17 Ravens. Got ourselves probably out of the 1,000 simulations we're watching, possibly the best game out of all of them. So I'm glad Kurt Warner's back in. I always loved Kurt Warner growing up. Great guy, awesome on the field, no matter what team. Look at Marshall. This is the match. What was I saying earlier in the game? Marshall Faulk in the pass game. 49 yards out of the backfield. Wow. I thought he was gone.
Second down.
So there we go. There's Dwayne Starks. He's on Torrey Holt this time. Just Dwayne Starks in general. That's what I'm keeping my eye on. And then the inside offensive line matchups are big. All right, so Rams put up 3. 21-20. We're setting ourselves up good. So ideally, we want to see the Ravens score a touchdown, and we want to see the Rams score a touchdown and go for a 2-point conversion. Always exciting plays. And Quadre Ismail. It's a bit interesting that Jermaine Lewis hasn't been returning kicks on the kickoffs.
Second down.
But yet he just got a pass thrown to him. So a bit interesting there.
Third down. Fourth down.
So 3rd and long. Looks like the Ravens were content putting it in their defense's hands. Maybe getting a nice punt here. But the Rams are going to get a good return.
Second down. Move those sticks.
I already got the first. Drive continues here for the Rams.
Second down.
And I love how it shows you the offense formations. Great stuff that you can digest.
Third down.
Rams have an injured guard here. And so, obviously, if you can't play the game, if you were playing,
The ball is loose.
we got a fumble, and the Ravens get the ball back. Ooh, that's big. That's a big turnover. But can they do anything with it?
Second down.
Got another injury here.
Third down.
It's like I was saying, obviously you don't play the game, but if you...
We have a marker down. That was just a mental mistake. It's a dumb penalty.
Oh, Trent Dilfer throws a pick, but defensive holding on the Rams, so that could be the reason why he threw the pick. As the Ravens are starting to drive, and Trent Dilfer continues to just throw it in the air. But yeah, you don't play, but you could coach. If you wanted to control one team, you would pick the plays. And that's a very elaborate process, too. You don't just click something. You can pick the routes the receivers are running, the direction the running back's going to go. You can actually control that stuff yourself. So you have in-game management. As Jamal Lewis cuts up the field.
Fourth down.
In addition to that, you can control a team in a career mode and manage them off the field with personnel.
The kick is up, and it's good.
So Matt Stover puts it through the uprights for a 24-20 lead as we are closing in on the 3rd quarter here. It's been a great one so far. Let's see what we have in store here, setting up for a great finish. Kick return yards has been on point. Kick returners have been doing good.
Second down.
Rams trying their luck at some running. Oh, and Kurt Warner.
That was just a mental mistake. It's a dumb penalty.
But defensive pass interference. So we've had it happen to both teams here.
Second down.
Very interesting. And we are entering the 4th quarter. Let's take a look at the stats here. First thing that pops out in this game so far is that Trent Dilfer is outplaying Kurt Warner somehow. The Rams are under 100. Jamal Lewis's 80, whatever it was, 81, 85-yard run got Ravens over 100 rushing yards. 9 penalties we got. Ravens control time of possession still. And they're doing great third downs. So, really, the Ravens are, I don't want to say dominating, but they are controlling the game. But the Rams are in a good spot.
Third down. Fourth down.
So it'd be interesting to see what the Rams do here. And this is an example of the differences between decades in the NFL. Because you got to think, if this game was played present day, the Rams probably go for that. But you never know. They might not. But it would definitely be on the table.
Third down.
And so what's neat about what we've watched so far, it's not like anything crazy's even happened. Like 5 missed tackles or, stuff like that.
Fourth down.
In that play, Ravens passed the ball and there was like 7 Rams defenders, it seemed like there. But that's not the important stuff. It's basically the results and how it plays out is what we're looking for here.
It's a dumb penalty. Second down. Out of bounds. First down. We have a marker down. Those sticks. That's a mental mistake. It's a dumb penalty.
Rams push back. I can't help but laugh every time I hear John Madden. So there we go. Marshall Faulk catching out of the backfield. They kept their eye on him that time.
Fourth down.
But now that do they go for it here or do they punt again? See, it is interesting, but Dick Vermeil, he probably, in this situation, is still punting. And as you can see, they pinned him down. So, we get the rare safety, my favorite play in the NFL. The coveted safety. Jamal Lewis.
Third down.
This is big coming up. This is field position. This is clock. This is a huge stop for the Rams.
Fourth down.
And they do it. They stop them. So we got a flagger that the Rams can't be offsides, can they? But it wouldn't give them the first down. Let's see what we got.
We have a marker down. Now that's a mental mistake. It's a dumb penalty.
And it was on the Ravens, so gives the Rams the ball, and they're already over the 50. But they need a touchdown. Take that back. They don't quite need a touchdown yet. A field goal they would probably consider, honestly.
Third down.
So Marshall Faulk with another catch there.
Fourth down.
And here we go. We're fourth down again. We're in this gray area. And 3 times the Rams have punted. And not as good of a punt. Nevertheless, still inside the 20. Still inside. They're inside the 10, actually.
Second down.
Now the clock is in the back of the mind of the Rams. But the Ravens are going to throw it here.
Third down.
So this is where you can control your team and say, no, we're just going to try to run the clock. The Ravens, interestingly, uncharacteristically, 2 throws there, incomplete. So they're probably trying to catch the Rams off guard. It's possibly they could have stacked the box. They're just trying to throw it. And as good as game Trent Dilfer had to that point, 2 incompletions. And how long can the Ravens 2000 defense hold up? As Marshall Faulk, with a 10-yard gain, has to be nearing that 100 yards.
Second down.
Look at Marshall Faulk. He is absolutely tearing it up. Oh, and it's getting close now. We're winding down. We're close to the 2-minute warning here. I can't tell if that was a toss or a pitch or what it was, but Faulk just stopped. And that was a run. He's over 100. I can tell you that. We'll look at his stats. And Torrey Holt. Wow, that was huge. Wow. What a drive. Marshall Faulk MVP, anyone? If they can hold on to it, I think it's got to be. So we're at 27-24. Ravens, I believe, should have all 3. Yeah, they have all 3 timeouts. Is it possible they tie it and we see overtime? Or do the Rams hold them? Or do the Ravens score a touchdown? And they're going to run it here, which Jamal Lewis figured. They figured they probably have the 2-minute warning. They can afford to run there.
2 minutes to the final gun.
So we're going to get the 2-minute warning stats here. We'll take a look.
The pass is not complete. Third down.
Big, big third down. This is incredible. Some sort of pitch play there. So they're going for it. Probably the right move. Wait a minute. Wow. This is very interesting because Matt Stover is not a power kicker, but he's very accurate. And they are in his range now with that catch. So they're hurrying to the line. Incredible situation they're in. Jamal Lewis on the side. Wow, they're really coming down. This is going to be interesting. I'll just let it play out here. Big hole by Jamal. Mike Jones with the tackle. They could have saved it. Could it be Mike Jones again? We'll never know who that is. But Jamal Lewis evades a tackle. We'll never know who it was, but it's interesting to think that Mike Jones saved a tackle against the Titans to win, and that somebody dove for that. Alright, so not the game I expected at all. But still 55 seconds left for Kurt Warner to make history. Perhaps Marshall Faulk to make history. What a game.
The pass is not complete. Second down.
Nice catch, and he got out of bounds. Wow. Textbook. They have all 3 timeouts, too, so middle of the field's still open.
The pass is not complete. Second down.
The worst part is there's no way to get overtime. It's going to be a winner or there's going to be a loser in the next 33 seconds.
The pass is not complete. Third down.
25 seconds, 3rd and 10. Ravens dropping back.
The pass is not complete. Fourth down.
So the Rams are in a very tight spot here. And Ricky Pro. Look at this. That's incredible. And stopped.
Move those sticks.
10 seconds. Look at this. This is Ravens 49ers Super Bowl now. And there's a flag.
Second down. We have a marker down. Now that's a mental mistake. It's a dump.
Wow. Offsides. And the Rams get it at the 3. Are they dare to run it in? Do they dare to run with 4 seconds? So they throw it. Isaac Bruce.
For 6. Touchdown.
Is that at the... As the game expires. Isaac Bruce. Look at that.
The kick is up, and it's good.
That is like incredible. What a game. St. Louis comes from behind to win the Super Bowl 34. Oh. Basically what we saw was Super Bowl 47 Ravens 49ers, but the scenario where the 49ers score, and I'm pretty sure the score was like exactly the same. Incredible Super Bowl. Unbelievable. I couldn't imagine being a fan of either of these teams watching a game like that. Wow. That was really something else. So anyway, well, that's a sim game from Pro Strategy Football 2022. I hope you enjoyed this. I don't think I have much else to say except definitely take a look into this game. You can just have as much fun as I did just watching the games, let alone managing them. Didn't even get into that. We just watched it play out. Incredible. A dream matchup. Marshall Faulk killed it. I don't even know who would be the MVP. Let's take a look at the stats, so that they were talking about it. So, what a game by everybody on both sides. Take a look here. Marshall Faulk, he did it. He broke 100 yards. He had 72 yards receiving. Absolutely the game MVP. Even though Isaac Bruce, he caught the game-winning touchdown. It's got to go to Marshall Faulk. Tore up the Ravens' rush defense. You just don't see that. Kurt Warner had himself a day. He was kind of incomplete, but there you go. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. I think that's about all I have to say for this one. Stay tuned for more. Bye.